Stanza 34. Yet more children had Loki. Angrboda was the name of a certain giantess in Jotunheim, with whom Loki gat 3 children. One was Fenris Wolf, the second Jormungandr, that is, the Midgard serpent. The third is Hel. But when the gods learned that this kindred was nourished in Jotunheim, and when the gods perceived by prophecy that from this kindred great misfortune should befall them, and since it seemed to all that there was great prospect of ill, first from the mother's blood, and yet worse from the father's, then All-Father sent gods thither to take the children and bring them to him. When they came to him, straightway he cast the serpent into the sea, where he lies about all the land, and this serpent grew so greatly that he lies in the midst of the ocean, encompassing all the land, and bites upon his own tail. Hel he cast into Niflheim, and gave to her power over 9 worlds, to apportion all abodes among those that were sent to her, that is, men dead of sickness or of old age. She has great possessions there. Her walls are exceedingly high, and her gates great. Her hall is called Sleet Cold, her dish Hunger. Famine is her knife, Idler her thrall, Slavin her maidservant, Pit of Stumbling her threshold, by which one enters, Disease her bed, Gleaming Bale her bed hangings. She is half blue-black and flesh color, by which she is easily recognized, and very lowering and fierce. The wolf the Aesir brought up at home, and Tyr alone dared go to him to give him meat. But when the gods saw how much he grew every day, and when all prophecies declared that he was fated to be their destruction, then the Aesir seized upon this way of escape. They made a very strong fetter, which they called Lodinger, and brought it before the wolf, bidding him try his strength against the fetter. The wolf thought that no overwhelming odds, and let them do with him as they would. The first time the wolf lashed out against it, the fetter broke, so he was loosed out of Lodinger. After this, the Aesir made a second fetter, stronger by half, which they called Dromi, and bade the wolf try that fetter, saying he would become very famous for strength if such huge workmanship could not suffice to hold him. But the wolf thought that this fetter was very strong. He considered also that strength had increased in him since the time he broke Lodinger. It came into his mind that he must expose himself to danger if he would become famous. So he let the fetter be laid upon him. Now when the Aesir declared themselves ready, the wolf shook himself, dashed the fetter against the earth, and struggled fiercely with it, spurned against it, and broke the fetter, so that the fragments flew far. So he dashed himself out of Dromi. Since then, it passes as proverb to loose out of Lodinger, or to dash out of Dromi, when anything is exceedingly hard. After that, the Aesir feared that they should never be able to get the wolf bound. Then Allfather sent him who is called Skirnir, Freyr's messenger, down into the region of the Black Elves, to certain dwarves, and caused to be made the fetter called Gleipnir. It was made of 6 things: the noise a cat makes in footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a rock, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. And though thou understand not these matters already, yet now thou mayest speedily find certain proof herein, that no lie is told thee. Thou must have seen that a woman has no beard, and no sound comes from the leap of a cat, and there are no roots under a rock. And by my troth, all that I have told thee is equally true, though there may be some things which thou canst not put to the test. Then said Gangleri, This certainly I can perceive to be true. These things which thou hast taken for proof, I can see. But how was the fetter fashioned? Har answered, That I am well able to tell thee. The fetter was soft and smooth as a silken ribbon, but as sure and strong as thou shalt now hear. Then when the fetter was brought to the Aesir, they thanked the messenger well for his errand. Then the Aesir went out upon the lake called Almsnotfir, to the island called Lyngvi, and summoning the wolf with them, they showed him the silken ribbon, and bade him burst it, saying that it was somewhat stouter than appeared from its thickness, and each passed it to the other, and tested it with the strength of their hands, and it did not snap. Yet they said the wolf could break it. Then the wolf answered, touching this matter of the ribbon, "It seems to me that I shall get no glory of it, though I snap asunder so slender a band. But if it be made with cunning, and with wiles, then, so it seem little, that band shall never come upon my feet." Then the Aesir answered, he could easily snap it apart, a slight silken band, he who had before broken great fetters of iron. But if thou shalt not be able to burst this band, then thou wilt not be able to frighten the gods, and then we shall unloose thee. The wolf said, "If ye bind me, so that I shall not get free again, then ye will act in such a way that it will be late ere I receive help from you. I am unwilling that this band should be laid upon me. Yet, rather than ye should impugn my courage, let some one of you lay his hand in my mouth, for a pledge that this is done in good faith." Each of the Aesir looked at his neighbor, and none was willing to part with his hand, until Tyr stretched out his right hand and laid it in the wolf's mouth. But when the wolf lashed out, the fetter became hardened, and the more he struggled against it, the tighter the band was. Then all laughed, except Tyr. He lost his hand. When the Aesir saw that the wolf was fully bound, they took the chain that was fast to the fetter, and which is called Gelgia, and passed it through a great rock. It is called Gjöll, and fixed the rock deep down into the earth. Then they took a great stone and drove it yet even deeper into the earth. It was called Fitta, and used the stone for a fastening pin. The wolf gaped terribly and thrashed about and strove to bite them. They thrust into his mouth a certain sword. The guards caught his lower jaw and the point in the upper, that is his gag. He howls hideously, and slaver runs out of his mouth. That is the river called Von. There he lies, to the weird of the gods. Then said Gangleri, "Marvelous ill children did Loki beget, but all these brethren are of great might. Yet, why did not the Aesir kill the wolf, seeing that they had expectation of evil from him?" Har answered, "So greatly did the gods esteem their holy place and sanctuary, that they would not stain it with the wolf's blood, though, so say the prophecies, he shall be the slayer of Odin."